Hey guys, I'm doing an update video for Patreon, but I may also put this on YouTube as well, just purely because I'm going to talk about a lot of things that I think could be worth putting on my YouTube. What I'll do is I'll essentially record this and then see whether it's just a YouTube video, just a Patreon video, like update for the patrons, or whether this should go on YouTube as well. So if you're seeing this on YouTube, I decided it was worth putting it up there. All right. So this is kind of a wrap up of the year, along with talking about the future. So currently, my let's talk about the past year. Been awesome. Drifting was amazing. Dragon Riders was amazing. Somnambulist was so much fun. It was really nice, especially to be able to swing two shows at the same time. Part of being a content creator in any regards is always feeling like you have to put as much out as possible. And while I'm trying to get myself out of that mentality, there are still moments when I'm like, I only do one show a week. People aren't going to support the channel for just one show a week. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in a second when I talk about like channel philosophy or whatever. So this coming year, I'm hoping that we'll get to the point where I can have two shows a week, like planned. Obviously, I have a few ideas for kind of filling space as I'm trying to organize shows, because at the end of the day, like, there's only so much I can put out, especially when I'm GMing the majority of things. I need to find GMs if I'm going to have two shows. And, you know, you have to kind of convince people that they want a GM, because a lot of the time, my cast members don't have a super load of interest in GMing, or, you know, they doubt themselves, or they just aren't, they're too busy themselves to really commit to anything. It's a lot to commit to. So one of the things I'm thinking about doing is setting up recorded shows, and this will actually be starting in the beginning of next year. We have a show that's going to be recorded. It's going to be 12 episodes, and we're going to record it, and then we'll release it once it's completely recorded. And obviously there'll be teasers and there'll be hints, and people on the Patreon will get probably like a little bit of a sneak peek as to what's coming. Maybe the first episode even will come out on Patreon first, but I'm not really planning to have, like, you know, completely like early access for patrons or anything. You know, in the future, who knows? If things expand, maybe I'll be able to even do like a kind of a few smaller series, like 4 shots, 6 shots, whatever, where it goes out on the Patreon first for a while and then etc. I imagine a lot of people would have a hard time adjusting to that, because it feels like a pay gate, where it's like, oh, if you don't give me money, then you don't get all the content. Which, you know, like, I still feel comfortable planning things like that, possibly, because currently I'm still putting a lot of my money into the shows themselves. So, you know, as amazing as it is, and it really is, to have the patrons helping me to create these shows, I'm still out of pocket, you know, like, at the end of the day. So, I don't feel like planning on ways to earn enough money to actually break even is a bad thing currently. You know, maybe in the future, if I have like 20,000 on the Patreon and like 3 shows, and I'm paying the cast a decent wage and everything, and then I'm also getting like merch and all these kind of things, then setting up a pay gate, I'd be hesitant about doing that. I'd need a good reason, probably an expansion reason, to do that. And I, you know, again, I try and be as open as I can with you guys. As I said, like, currently, all the earnings from the Patreon go directly into cast pay, nothing else. So all the art, all the videos, like the intro video, the outro video, stuff like that, that always goes directly from my pocket to make the show better, and it's worth it as far as I'm concerned. But you know, like yeah, I can't keep it up forever. So that's what she said. I can't keep it up forever. So you know, as things go, I'm always keeping an eye on how everything's running and how everything's going. Who knows? In the future, I may have to be like, I can't afford this anymore. Scale things back, or just stop them entirely, focus on something else. For now, it's looking really good, and I'm really happy with it. So, you know, I'm sure the thing that people mostly want to hear is nothing but like raw positivity, where everything's amazing and everything's great. It's good. I'm very happy, but at the same time, I'm an unfortunate realist where I'm just like, you know, my camera's fucked up. Come on me, over here. There we go. That is last year and kind of like all of those type of things. The thing I should talk about before we go into what I want to do next year and looking into the future is I want to touch on the philosophy for the channel, just essentially how I have been operating. I've said this before to people, you know, people come and hang out in the Discord. We have community night with the patrons where everyone gets together. We play some board games. We do whatever. Like sometimes we'll even create characters for shows that are upcoming. I don't always use them, or I use them in a different way than people may expect. But you know, that, again, like talking with the patrons and people who've made characters, they'd prefer for the show to feel like it always does, like fairly, you know, have that feeling. They don't want me to just like shoehorn in a character. So it seems to work out well, and it's always fun to do character creations and things like that. So philosophy, my goal, and you may have noticed this if you've been paying attention to what we've been doing on the channel and everything, has been to try and grow steadily without pushing past my means. What that essentially means is from day one, my intention was to always pay cost as soon as I started the channel. It didn't happen with Sunkist because that was already running and I didn't have the plans in place to kind of, you know, allow for that. But once the next set of shows, Drifting, etc., got up running, then we had the Patreon. It was started getting covered by all of you guys who support the channel, and it meant that I could pay the cost, which is just awesome and amazing. And the thing is like, I imagine, at a guess, I could have grown a lot quicker by just getting as many cast members together as possible and putting on like 4 or 5 shows a week. There would be more people coming to see, there'd be more people being engaged with different shows, and that would also allow me to get sponsors. Now, you may have heard me talk a couple of times about talking to sponsors. It's never played out because sponsors don't want to sponsor a channel which has 1 show a week. You know, you're only live once a week. Their name isn't getting out there very much, and, you know, it's just how it is. So, if you're wondering why a lot of RP channels run so many shows so often, it's because sponsors only want to sponsor people. It doesn't matter how many viewers you have really. They just want to sponsor people who are on a lot of the time online. You know, the name is getting out there. They're being mentioned a lot. So that's kind of how it works. Obviously, once you get to the size of Critical Role, the whole thing changes, and Critical Role will be the one dictating terms because they have such a big viewer base and fan base. But yeah, so I'd give everyone a heads up if we started getting sponsored. You'd see anyway. And one of the things I've learned for myself is that I always want to be as open and transparent as I feel I should be with you guys as viewers, as participants in my channel. However, I don't feel like everything is worth saying, and I don't feel like everything is particularly good to divulge. For example, I always want to let people know where the money is going. All of the Patreon money goes to the cast currently. If we reach a point where, if we reach a point where the Patreon money exceeds the cast pay and the art pay and all the production costs of running all the shows I do, then most likely I will increase the cast pay, because that's one of the things I want to do in the future once we've got to 2 live shows a week and a recorded show and etc. Or recorded shows and so forth. So that's the type of thing. But at the same time, you know, complete truthfulness, complete divulgence, there's a problem there, because I've seen a couple of channels that like bear their finances to the viewership and to the cast, and they show them where everything's going and where everything's coming in. And the problem with that is, to use a channel which is unfortunately no longer existing, called Scraticus Academy. I was on there a few times, and I said to Scraticus, like, I'm happy to GM for you, but you have to pay me. Unless it's a one-off or something for charity, you have to pay me to GM, because it's a lot of work. And a bit, he had all of his finances up, and you know, everyone could see what was going in. He's getting a few grand in for sponsorships a month, and you know, like random donations and things equaling like a few hundred dollars, maybe sometimes higher. And one of the things that caused him to shut down his channel and caused all his cast members and viewership to turn on him was he wasn't paying his cast, not anything, and people started feeling taken for granted. And there were other things as well, of course, but the problem there is that he was running 3 shows a night, six nights a week, which was great for the sponsorship. It got some money in, but you can't pay cast. Like, if he was to pay the $20 a month, $20 an episode that I pay, he'd be paying over 10 grand. He'd be paying, I think, like 12 grand or something, maybe more, for an income of 2. It's not viable, and he did set himself up in that situation, but it is unrealistic to expect people who've already set up. If you look at places like Table Story, with a fairly low income but reasonably high viewership, and they do multiple shows, if they were to pay their cast what they deserve, they'd also go bankrupt and not be able to run it. So, you know, it's a bit of a balancing act. And when I started the channel, one of the first things I decided was, I want to pay my cast. I want to gradually grow and hopefully prove to people that it's worth supporting the shows, or the show, by making the best show I possibly could, and focusing all my energy into something as high quality as I could create, in terms of my work and, you know, my GMing and the cast and everything. Not necessarily production, you know, like as I can, I will. But I hoped, and so far has been proven, that this was the right way to go. Because otherwise, I think I could be making a lot more money now especially in sponsorships, if I hadn't paid the cast and done like 3 or 4 shows a week, maybe 5 shows a week. But I don't feel like it would have been long-term of benefit. From what I can tell so far, is the majority of people who've become a patron and really enjoyed the shows have stuck around, and because they want to see what's next, and because they want to see more shows. So it's still my job to get people hyped and supporting the shows and interested. But you know, I've just got to keep it rolling, basically. And the other thing I need to do is increase the viewership, something I'm very, very bad at, as most of you who've been around probably know. So, with that in mind, I'm going to be making possibly making a few risky moves. One of the things I want to do is move to YouTube. I want the live shows to be on YouTube. And there's a reason for this. The reason I want that is because On Twitch, the viewership is pretty shit. If I go to give me a second here. Let's go to my channel and then go to the D&D category. Hello. And then the D&D category. Sure, that'll work. So there's two categories on Twitch for roleplay shows. There's the D&D category, and there is the tabletop RPG category. In the D&D category, there are 700,000 followers of that category. So people who follow that category. And currently, it's getting close to New Year's. Like, there's a couple of hours till New Year's, so it's like 10 p.m. Which is a fairly prime time for shows for Twitch. The highest is 100 viewers. And you know, even on the first line, it gets down as far like there's 4 people on the top line for me. It gets down to 18 viewers. So the fourth highest D&D channel has 18 people watching. There's a reasonable spread. It doesn't go like, you know, 1,000 and then 2 or anything like that. But if you watch Critical Role, the spread from Critical Role finishing their show to all of the other channels is almost unobservable. Like, you can't see any change. And same for a lot of the other big channels. And if you go to tabletop RPGs, that category, which is the other option, 168 followers. You've got 300 as the first one, and then down to 15. Yeah, like that's a big drop. And I never stream in the even though I don't ever do D&D, I always stream in the D&D category because it's minorly better than the tabletop RPGs. There's 436 total viewers in tabletop RPGs. There's 432 in D&D. Which I'm not too worried about viewership for viewership's sake. Obviously, I want people to watch the shows I do as much as I can. And I'll do, you know, it's always nice to have more people watching and to grow and etc. The main thing I want to have good visibility and good viewership is because the more people who watch, the more people may decide to support the shows and the more things I'll be able to do. I'm not worried about getting 100,000 viewers every single episode of every show I do and making so much money that I don't know what to do with it. I'll be happy to break even for the next few years at least, and slowly grow the channel from one show confirmed a week to 2 shows confirmed a week, maybe some recorded shows. So with that in mind, I want to move to YouTube. YouTube, I think, is up and coming in terms of streaming, and even if it isn't, it's still, even now, I feel it's a better option for what I want to do. And I don't like the way Twitch is going. It feels like Twitch is going very much towards a kind of like online TV show, you know, online TV channel like Sky TV or something, or cable TV if you're, you know, not British. And I feel like in the next few years, gaming is going to pretty much die out to a certain degree. Like, obviously, it'll always be the core of the channel, but it's going to take a backseat to everything else that they can make money off better. Also, as a sidebar, the second highest stream on the D&D category is actually a rerun, which I just looked at. So the plan for this year, and it probably won't be straight away, is we're going to switch to YouTube. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to abandon Twitch. I've looked into it a little bit, and I'm going to look into it more. It seems like they took away their exclusivity for affiliates. So that means that I'll be able to stream on YouTube, and then the day after I will stream the rerun, the video, I'll stream on Twitch. What that means is that even if you don't want to watch on YouTube, you can still watch somewhere. And if you prefer Twitch to YouTube, then you can still appreciate it there. I understand that there's probably some people who do feel like they just want to watch on Twitch and they want to watch it live because live is the whole point on Twitch. But like, I have to do what I think is best, and this is the best I could do. Like I could just not do anything on Twitch anymore and just kind of abandon Twitch completely. Um, Hopefully you'll be okay with me rerunning the episode on Twitch the day after it's live on YouTube, but that's the way I'm going for now. So YouTube, that'll also allow me to premiere the recorded videos, all of those type of things, and then the other thing that I'm semi-planning for this year, it's something I want to do very much so, and I think it will be a kicking off point to other things. I want to make a website. Not just because having a website is useful, like having a link tree where someone can go and look at all of your stuff. What I really want is I want a central place that, technically speaking, in the future, if I need to, I could host my series, and I could actually move to have people watching on the website, but also a central place where people will go. Because currently, we have the Discord, and I have a Twitter account. People turn up to the Twitch streams, people turn up to the YouTube videos, which is all great, but there's no central area. So I was thinking it might be a good idea, and it may not be this year because it depends on like what I can get organized and how busy I am and everything. But it might be a good idea to make a website for the Wandering Inn and start from there. Maybe have the live streams on like a page where people can go, and if we're live, people will see it. An archive for all of the shows that we've done, like with the videos or with the links, all that type of thing. So that's one of the things I've been considering doing, and I do want to do it. Again, talking about the channel philosophy. Oh god, this video is going to be so long. Talking about the channel philosophy, I'm not sure how far I'm pushing things by making a website now, which does also lead into the other thing I wanted to say that I have been thinking about for a long time, which is merch. One of the things I really want to do is I want a pint glass with the Wandering Inn logo on it. Let's see if I can pull that up. Give me a sec here. Totally planned out, on top of everything. I know what I'm doing. Okay, we go. I think that's the wrong one. Yeah, there we go. So maybe this. Oh, that's gonna be way too big. I'll just flash it up on the screen once I've resized it. Okay, so I can put it there. It'll cover a bit of my face maybe, but is this. Like, just like the Wandering Inn, nil satis nisi optimum is like roughly translated is only even the best isn't good enough. It was part of my channel philosophy, basically like always try to be doing better and there's no reason not to do your best regardless of situation. So if I'd have started the channel and only 2 people watching me a week every episode, I still would have tried to make the best thing because that's still satisfying to me, making something like drifting as hard as I can. So having that on a pint glass is something I'd like. There's a few posters as well. I think the Drifting crew could make a good poster. I think the Moonkissed, the art my mum did for Moonkissed would make a great poster. So, and there's a few others that my mum have done, which I know people in the Discord very much want as posters, like the fish, which hasn't featured yet in a show, but will in the future. And the fish is absolutely amazing. But yeah, essentially, once the website is up, it would be easier to do merch. The only thing, and the thing that may delay the website, and the thing that may delay the merch, is just that I don't want to squeeze blood from a stone. We already have a lot of patrons who are giving a good set of money to me every month, and they have to kind of share the burden. A few people have to share the burden between themselves. In a perfect world, I'd love to have 10,000 patrons who give me $3 a month, just so no one has to feel like they need to give me more money than they do. But as much as I say that, you know, like the bigger patrons, the ones who support even more, you know, we couldn't do it without that. So, you know, as much as I hate getting money, I at least feel less guilty for getting money because I don't keep any of it, and I actually spend some of my own. But yeah, no, it's with the merch, I know that the majority of patrons would immediately buy like a pint glass, or would immediately buy like a poster for Moonkist, which is a nice little extra income for the show. Well, for the shows, it'll help with my production costs and things like that. But I don't want to set that up and immediately the patrons, the ones already supporting the channel, are like, more, yeah, I'll buy. I want to, and yeah, I know I should leave it up to them and all those kind of things, but at the same time, there would be like a rush of people buying whatever it is I put out, and then nothing for ages, as we don't have a particularly large viewership where people are going to be continually buying merch. So it kind of makes the merch idea like not super strong for now. And also, once I do start doing merch, I'll have to be promoting it, and I wanna hold off on the merch and see whether there's anything else that happens, like any sponsorships or anything along those lines, because I don't want to start every show and be like, hey everyone, welcome to the Wandering Inn. Buy my merch. We're sponsored by doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that. Like, it already feels difficult for me to be like, hey, don't forget to subscribe and also, you know, check out the Patreon and things like that. So I'm taking it in like little baby steps. So aside from all of that, also still considering moving house, so that could happen, but you know, we'll see. I'm not married to it right now because the market is fairly pricey right now, so I don't want to get a place that's too, you know, and also it would mean moving out of the city. I'm not 100% sure I'm ready for that, and everything's a bit, you know, with the whole Ukraine and Russia and all the like economic and everything, it just felt like best to wait for a while, see how it goes, and you know, if I find a place that's really nice, maybe. On top of that, I am planning on getting a new computer because my one's getting pretty run down. Usually I wouldn't mention this, but I'm waiting again for prices to lower a little bit. Peachy's gonna help me buy a computer in the future, and he said wait for a while, so I'm waiting for a while. But essentially, my computer's starting to get on its last legs, and with these type of things, sometimes they can just go. So I just putting that out there for any of you watching. So if there comes a point where we're doing shows every week and etc., and then it all falls apart for like a couple of weeks, it'll be because my computer has died, and I'll tell you guys at that time as well. But yeah, just preparing everyone for possibly if my computer dies. I may have like a couple of dark weeks where there's just no content. Just to let you know. Almost half an hour. Jesus. Okay. So past that, honestly, that's pretty much everything I really wanted to cover. I'm thinking to myself now, like, you should promote the Patreon, and then it's like, well, what if I'm only speaking to patrons? I don't know. I given everything I spoke about, I'll put it on YouTube, I think. I don't really expect very many people to watch it who aren't, on the Patreon, who aren't like, fairly avid watchers. But I think it's worth putting out there anyway. Just because I think it's worth everyone who's interested being able to keep up with what's going on and everything. I don't want to like completely disconnect from everyone and be like, yes, I'm going to sit in my creative hole. I don't even have the fucking. I've got one light on and it's pointed at the ceiling. It's really dark in here and it's almost New Year's. Oh shit. Happy New Year's, Merry Christmas, everyone. Yeah. Is there anything else I want to talk about before we finish up? If you're on the If you're on the Patreon, don't be shy to come to Discord. If you're not on the Discord, if you don't particularly feel like you want to join in the community events in terms of like, being on microphone and talking to everyone, they're scary people, some of my patrons who join all the community events and stuff. I understand. You can be completely comfortable joining with your mic muted or just having no mic. If you just want to listen, if you just want to like look, if you want to play with no microphone, totally fine to do that. Sometimes we play like board games on Tabletop Simulator, things like that, perfectly fine. But yeah, feel free to come to the Discord. We get people coming in there every now and then. Someone new joins the voice chat. Sometimes I stream a game on Discord, for anyone who wants to come and watch and chat to do. It's actually a really nice way of keeping in touch with some of your community members, at least. Not that many people join, but they never did when I was doing Twitch stream gaming anyway. So, and yeah, oh shit, fuck. Hello. There's a shorts channel which I'm planning on starting up next year. I've created it and I've started compiling a few shorts. What I want to do is I want to have a whole load of shorts I can just put out on a different channel as a way to kind of like, easily consumable content that may drive a few more people to my channel. I may make a TikTok as well and throw that shit up on there, but I don't care about TikTok's whatever. But that's why I have a Twitter. I hate Twitter. Twitter's the worst place in existence. However, I still have a Twitter account because I want people who want to I want to catch a few people who don't use Discord. They can use the Twitter and they get notified there when the streams go live and new shows coming and stuff like that. Anyway, aside from that, that's all of my thoughts and plans and hopes. Maybe none of it will happen. Maybe I'll be so busy trying to grow the channel and get all the shows organized, I just won't have a chance to do anything this year. If we end the next year with 2 shows a week, financed by Patreon and maybe a few extra recorded shows and stuff, then honestly I'll be happy. It's I'm not looking to explode onto the scene and be like, hello, I'm the new Critical Role. And I wouldn't want to be Critical Role anyway, because Dungeons and Dragons is fine, but it's you need to work very hard to ungamify Dungeons and Dragons and the mindset of Dungeons and Dragons viewers. There's a lot of people out there who would not enjoy drifting because there's barely any rolling and pretty much no fighting. And one of the things I hate the most about D&D is those episodes which take 2 episodes to have a fight scene. No. I'd much prefer, thank you very much, to have a cinematic fight scene where there's no rolling at all, and me and the cast member just play off each other and do it narratively. It's really interesting. Anyway. Yeah. What is worth saying is, seeing as this is going out to non-patron as well. If you made it this far, even if you're a patron to a certain degree, never feel pressured to support the channel. If you're a patron and you have a situation where you're like, I could continue with my $10 a month support, but I just don't feel that safe, that comfortable financially doing that, then you know, cancel your Patreon. I know it goes without saying, but it's worth saying just because some people, I would much prefer to retain your viewership than retain your money. And a lot of people, when they feel like they have to cancel their Patreon, they feel like they're not allowed to watch the show anymore, or they feel like they're not allowed to hang out in the Discord anymore. They feel guilty or they feel bad or whatever. Like, literally, cancel your Patreon if you don't feel comfortable with it, and just keep watching. If you're not enjoying the show or you're not enjoying what's currently going on, perfectly fine. But never feel like you don't deserve to watch the show or anything. Never feel pressured to become a patron or to stay on Patreon, essentially. And you know, if things start to get rough for me financially, I have a few plans. I have a few kind of like donator shows, fundraising shows, ideas I can do. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, aside from all of those things, if you can't help the channel financially, like if you either can't or don't feel it's worth becoming a patron, and as a sidebar, you can become a patron for $3 a month, and that may not feel like much, but it really is. Like if everyone who watches the videos was a patron, I'd probably be able to put on about 3 shows. I'm not expecting that, but I'm just saying, you know, like, feel free. But always know that like any engagement you give the videos on YouTube, be chatting in the Twitch chat, anything along those lines, is always good. Like, the more people comment it, like, this is the thing, is if you watch one of the YouTube videos and you're sat there being like I love that episode, it was so good, and I've got nothing to say about it, the fuck do I do? Throw a like on the video for a start. Like, you can always do that. And that always helps. Like, the more interaction. Sorry, I had a cough and I breathed in to talk, and it made a weird noise. The interaction on a video helps more people find the video. That's just a one way that YouTube works. So if you throw a like down and then leave a comment that says, "Hey, I enjoyed this episode. It was nice," that will help to push it to new people. And if everyone does that, then it helps it to push it to even more people. It's just the way that YouTube works, and it's the way. That's why any YouTube video you see nowadays will say, "Leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Hey, what's my favorite color? Say down in the comments," because they need to give people a reason to comment, because the majority of people have nothing to say, which is perfectly fine. But always know that when you watch one of my videos, you can leave a comment that just says, "This is nice," or "I enjoyed this video," or literally anything you fucking want, really. And I will appreciate it, and I'll see it as well. Unless we one day get to, 10,000 people commenting on every video, then I'll probably start to miss shit. But as things currently stand, I'll see it. And also, we have a few viewers who get quite in depth with their comments, Mr. Matt especially, and there is another guy who's been watching drifting, Steven Fernandez. Shout out to you, dude. It's been really cool seeing you go through drifting and leave your thoughts and everything. Like, comparing my cast in drifting to Thespians gave me such a warm glow, and I actually sent it to them, and they were very happy. So anyway, sorry. Yeah. I'll sign off here because I've almost hit 40 minutes, and I thought I should finish at 30. I actually thought I should finish at 15, but here we go. Turns out I can't make short content anymore. Any time I start talking, I just carry on talking. So, thank you for watching. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Much appreciation to literally everyone who did some form of supporting the channel. Even if it's just telling your mates that you should check out a series I've done. Even if they don't check it out, just people knowing about the Wandering Inn and good shows, you know, around helps magnificently. Obviously, the heroes of the channel are all patrons, because you literally make it possible for the shows to run. So you know, give yourselves a pat on the back, and keep an eye out for what do we have? We have Dragon Riders starting on the 6th of January. We have a show called QT starting on the 30th of January. And we have a recorded show starting in February, which is kind of experimental and interesting. And it will be released after we finish recording it. So could take a little while, but yeah. I'm going to go and make some dinner because I'm not doing anything for New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is always shit. But thanks for watching, guys. And this will go up on Patreon first, and then I'll release this probably like New Year's Day or the 2nd maybe. So you'll see this on YouTube too. Thanks for watching. Bye.